Welcome to the podcast. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Tidal hemp-powered recovery spray. Now, look, I just love talking about this, and this is the subject of the day today, guys. We're going to have a real good chat about this. We're going to give you the insides and outsides of what's going on with this amazing product, Tidal Sport. It's a tidal wave in Vegas this weekend. I can't believe it. You know, one of our great sponsors here is the Aussie Project. It's an Australian meat pie company. Now, it's a taste of Australia. You know, like when you go to different countries and you try different foods, there wasn't really that much Australian food over here in America. So we developed the Australian Pie Company. And look, we deliver all over Las Vegas for free. All you got to do is go onto the Aussie Project, a taste of Australia, tell them Marcus sent you, and check out some of their pies. And of course, on one of the most exciting weeks in Las Vegas, today's episode is proudly fueled by...
In Ireland, the highest form of compliment in any pub is an insult. So I'm considered quite complimentary. Proper number 12, Irish whiskey.
The Marcus Deegan Show. What's the story, guys? Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us once again. If you're brand new to this channel, make sure you like and subscribe, share it, and hit that notification bell so every time we drop a new show, you're going to be the first ones to know about it. It is 116 degrees here in Las Vegas. I know you're all around the world watching this and you've never experienced the Las Vegas heat. I was discussing with my guest a little bit earlier on. We call it the pizza oven effect. You walk out of the airport, the doors open, and bang, you get hit by a pizza oven. 116 degrees. I don't know if it's that hot here this week, because there's a big show on in town, a Conor McGregor show, 264, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor 3. It's one of the most anticipated bouts, the highest pay-per-view pre-sales of any UFC fight. We're going to be talking a lot about that today. I'm just so stoked because my guest that I've got on the show today is a man that kind of gave me an opportunity. He never had met me from Adam, and he brought me into something that is just exploding beyond recognition. It's becoming one of the biggest juggernaut companies in the world right now. Now, look, I normally like to do my intros off the bat, but I just want to read a few little statistics about my good friend that I've got coming on the podcast here. So, look, he's been in the pharmaceutical industry for a while now, supporting different medical affairs, various Fortune 100 companies. He took some of the most successful commercial drug launches globally. So this is a very smart, intelligent man. He's very handsome and tall as well, by the way. The Chief Marketing and Science Officer for the Anthos Group. They launched Tidal Sport. It's a brand new company. You've heard me talk about this on every single podcast because it's something that when it comes to pain, guys, and those of you that suffer with pain, you know what I'm talking about. When you finally find something that works for you, that's not a narcotic drug, that doesn't cost you hundreds and thousands of dollars to fix, then you grasp onto it and you hold onto it and you love it and you want everybody that's suffering to share the wealth. Well, today on the podcast, I want to introduce you to the main man, all the way here in Las Vegas, Mr. Dr. Cohin Kakar. What's up, my brother?
Not too much. I'm happy to be here, and it's an honor, man. Thank you so much.
Well, it's been a while coming. I was just talking to you before. The first time I kind of got introduced to Tidal was when Johnny Walker came on the podcast, and he was wearing a Tidal shirt, and I asked him about it, and he showed me some of the product, and I became really, really interested in it due to, because of the injuries I've had over the years. And then you and I kind of connected via social media. You sent me out a couple, and before you know it, you're our main sponsor.
Painted it yellow and black.
the main sponsor of the podcast here. So that was before the big takeover.
Right.
So we had connected before this whole Conor McGregor thing happened, right?
Right.
Can you just give us a little bit of background of your history, your credentials, and then how this all started?
Absolutely. First of all, it's so funny to go back and think about that moment because for us, we had just launched and Johnny
had 6,000 followers on Instagram.
Exactly, right? And Johnny was one of the first athletes who we connected with. And as you know, great personality,
the best.
Great guy.
Love him.
And his manager, John, texted me that day and he said, hey, Johnny got on this podcast and he wore a Tidal shirt. Make sure you look out for it. So, of course, we went and we watched it. That was our first kind of public viewing of our brand. You have a great platform, right? So we saw that and we're like, wow, that is awesome. And the show was great. I love the flow of it. I love the way you kind of hosted him and his answers and everything. And so when you reached out, I was like, this is a great fit for us. And you're right. This was before the storm came. This was when we were building our blocks and we got to that level. So first of all, I want to say thank you for that opportunity just to start off.
Wow.
And, it's crazy where we've come and where we're going. I'm really excited about the future as well.
So it happened so quickly for you guys. Like, brother, I got to say that yesterday I did get a little emotional as I was driving to the press conference. And I look up at Resort World, the newest, the biggest freaking LED advertisement screen in the world, and I see this logo, and I was like, then my brother-in-law called me. He goes, "Can you believe you're a little part of this?" And I was like, I can't believe it. I was in shock. Have you seen it yet?
Oh yeah, you know what? Funny story for you actually. So. And I know you asked me about my background. We'll go into that later. But about that particular billboard, it's been the talk of the week, and everyone's seeing it. And my CEO of our Anthos Group and Tidal, Badal Shah, and I, we came out here about 2 weeks ago to start planning our activations, what billboards we should explore, what we want to do. We saw the Resorts World one was open, and at the time we didn't know, right? It's obviously an investment, and we were like, let's weigh it out. At that time, we decided, maybe not at this time. Let's do the other stuff. Badal got here on Wednesday, and he saw it, and we happen to be staying at the hotel where it's very visible. He calls me. He's like, "Cohin, we got to get that billboard." So that's on Wednesday. Fight week's, happening. I'm like, man, what are we going to do here? How do I pull this off? Because it's not just a billboard, it's a video board. So it's not like you can just take a picture and slap it up there. You got to actually have content for it. So our wonderful partners at Paradigm pulled off a miracle. They got us the content we needed. My design team, we worked all together and just made it happen. It went live on Thursday within 24 hours. And then it's just been such a great thing for us because we're hosting a lot of meetings at where we are, and it's a backdrop to all our meetings. So people see it, they love it, they feel engaged with the brand. And in an event like what's going on this week, that's what you want. You want brand activation. You want people to feel the brand and start getting mind share, recognizing the logo. So that's why you've seen billboards all across town.
Well, I've actually had people contacting me more so about those billboards from Australia, Ireland, from Thailand.
Amazing.
All my friends have been calling me going, "Hang on, is this the company that you have on your show?" I'm like, "Yes."
Amazing.
Like, what the heck's going on with that? I was like, I told you that's what was going on, man.
That's great.
So let's talk about Audi Attar is such a great businessman. Obviously, he runs Paradigm, and obviously you guys are hooked up with them. How did that all come about, and how did Conor actually first try this?
Absolutely. Look, Audi is like a big brother to me. He's been such a great mentor for us, and the relationship actually started back in 2019. Our CEO Badal and Audi actually met, and they hit it off. And when I say hit it off, not only in terms of common interests, but just great family guys, similar philosophies. So they really gelled a relationship. And an opportunity arose right before the Cerrone fight, where Conor was here training and everything. And at the time, our other product line, which is called Cyto, we had a topical cream that's used for pain relief. So we got that into Audi's hands, and he said, I'll let Conor try it out. And we didn't know what was going to happen, right? You give the product, and if he needs it, maybe they'll use it. Conor tried it, and we got good feedback. Just from that good feedback, that's what inspired the launch of TIDL Sport. We said, you know what? We're experts in plant science. We're experts in pharmacology. Let's combine those things, and let's create products for fitness enthusiasts and athletes that can help them in sports recovery. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means exactly. But the story is that inspired the brand. We put got our team of clinicians, scientists together, created TIDL Sport. And again, we got the product into Conor's hands. He loved it, and here we are today. And he's been just a phenomenal partner for us.
Where did the name come from?
So it was a pretty hefty exercise. We went through a lot of different exercises to say, what are we trying to capture? And at the time we were thinking sports recovery, and then you think about a wave of relief, a wave of recovery. And we wanted to differentiate a little bit. So when you look at the acronym TIDL, tenacity, intensity, dedication, lifestyle, those are 4 pillars we feel like every fitness enthusiast, every serious athlete has to incorporate into their daily lifestyle. So right now we're in sports recovery. We want to help athletes understand their body, why recovery is so important, how can they continue to perform better every single day. But that lifestyle, what's the lifestyle of someone who's really trying to focus on health and wellness? So we want to be a part of the entire journey of the athlete, all the way from, we have a new immunity product. I've dropped off some samples. I'd love for you to try that out. We're going to go into different other mechanisms of recovery, energy, sleep, all those things that are so important for athlete performance. That's where our expertise lies, and that's what we're trying to get this brand to really represent.
I think it's great how you just started off with one product like this that really had such like. And I always try to tell people this. I'm not just selling this because they sponsor my show, because you guys look after us. But I really, Ian, do you have a mic? Are you mic'd, Ian?
I am.
Okay,
I am indeed.
This is my producer, Ian. Ian, you've tried this, and so has your business partner, her husband, who's suffered greatly with back issues, surgeries. Can you give us a little bit of feedback on what's...
Well, I can speak very independently because, other than being in the chair here, this is, I get to see what you guys do. And, of course, thanks for sharing the product with us. And I know for Patrick, he's had crazy back issues. Amanda's had a lot of, knee and shoulder issues. And even my girlfriend, who's in the medical field, she's a nurse, have tried this product, and actually she has had the most recent feedback in that she's saying, I said, well, give this a go, and she tried it, and she was at a 7, and she says, I'm at a 7, and I've been at a 7 for 2 days, 3 days, and I said, well, I didn't actually know that because she's quite quiet and those sort of things. She tried it within 5 minutes. She goes, I'm 0.
Yeah.
I'm 0.
And he only had a little bit left in the tin too, didn't he?
I did. And then she stayed at a 0 for that for the whole night. And then she didn't need to top it up until the next day, and was like, I'm just even at a 2 now, even after it had worn off. So we've all been positively affected by it. So thank you.
Thank you. I mean, stories like that, stories like yours that you've shared previously.
Yeah.
That's why we wake up and do what we do every day.
Well, let me tell you this one, mate. And this was a real rough one for me. I had a guest in here, and she has severe stage 4 cancer at the moment, everywhere in her bones. And the first time that she got radiation, they did it on her lower back, and she's always suffered with pain from that. Brother, I gave her this, and she literally called me the next day saying, can I please come and get some more of this, because this is the only thing that has taken away that pain in my lower back from where I had the radiation therapy. That's got to make you feel good, right?
It's everything. And it all comes full circle, hearing stories especially like that. My father dedicated his life to cancer research. He's been a professor, is a PhD, and just to hear that, because that's what he does every day, is finding ways to treat not only the cancer, but the other things cancer patients deal with. And for my product to be able to do something like that, that's an incredible story. I can't wait to share it with him.
Yeah, she's been working with the UFC for a long time, does all the makeup and hair, and unfortunately she's not working with them anymore because her condition has progressed to she's trying to heal herself holistically.
Yeah.
She's doing it without the chemotherapy now, and this is a prime part of her recovery.
So happy to hear that.
Yeah,
I wish her the best, and hopefully hope for a full recovery.
Yeah, so do I. So did you? Are you excited about Saturday night? And is this your first Conor McGregor fight that you've been to live?
I am thrilled about Saturday night. And believe it or not, that Cerrone fight I mentioned in 2020, we actually were there in person.
You were?
Yeah. We came, just again, kind of being in the ecosystem. We wanted to support Paradigm. We, of course, wanted to support Conor. So we went to the fight, saw it live. It was a mind-blowing experience. That entrance, I tell you, I've been to I've been a sports guy my whole life, all the way from college athletics, pro. I've been to some of the best venues in the world. That entrance, no sports event can match.
Nope.
The chills you get, my arm hairs were standing up, man. It was incredible. So it was great to be a part of it.
And I suppose knowing the fact now that you're business partners with Conor just enhances the effect of seeing the show and seeing the fans and seeing the Tidal logo just everywhere. It's got to be. I mean, what's the feeling in your heart?
Honestly, Marcus, it's thankful. It's thankful.
Yeah.
You feel so blessed for an opportunity like this. One thing at our core, it's all about the science. It's all about the quality. It's all about the efficacy of product. But for that to translate into a partnership like what we've had, taking that science into relief for friends like yours and to other people who are looking for products like ours, who want relief, who want to promote health and wellness, that's a blessing. And that's why I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful.
It's called karma. What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Doctor, because you, and it seems like your father has dedicated your life to helping people, to helping the comfort of people.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a full circle. I mean, I come from a family of scientists, and my sister's a physician. My mom was a chemistry lab manager. So
there's some smart conversations going around at that dinner table, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what. I mean, it's a culmination of all that, and I'm sure we all have similar stories where you have your friend circle, you have your family, you learn from the experiences of your friends, and it culminates to where you go one day. All that really affects your journey, and that's a blessing too, is having that circle that's always there supporting you.
It's funny that you said earlier on that the air feels differently here, not only for the extreme heat, but the air, like you can tell there's an atmosphere in the town at the moment. The press conference yesterday, I think we got a little bit of footage of that press conference yesterday that we can throw up there. It's funny when you see a press conference that generates more people than a lot of the MMA fights.
There he is.
Yeah, a lot of people thought I was... A lot of people are like, why aren't you down the front? And I was like, because I like to sit back and check out the atmosphere and the amount of people that were there. And it was just...
electric.
Absolutely electric. You can feel the presence of Conor even from that distance. And, you know, this podcast is primarily about sports and entertainment. And the way I kind of got... You guys all know that have followed me and followed my career. The way I got kind of hooked up with all this was back in the day when I used to be the notorious lookalike that would go to all the concerts and wear the belt and have some security, just primarily for the fans, and it was a lot of fun. But the goal was always to make a mark in this sport industry. And one of the biggest names in the business has agreed to come on the podcast.
Amazing.
Do we have some footage of that? Check this out, guys.
Yup, Marcus Deegan, we'll do that interview. You know, I'm keeping it low key at the minute. I've got a job. I've got a job to do, so I'm just, you know, staying focused on that. And no distractions. But I appreciate what you've been doing with your podcast. I saw the other day you put the UFC's first Mexican champion. I saw him the other day with the bottle of Proper 12. I appreciate your work, brother. I will get on your podcast, all right? Kids are doing...
So let me flip the script. How does that make you feel?
Accomplished, recognized, and appreciated.
Amazing.
And that's all human beings want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. That's all you really... You just want to be acknowledged.
100%.
And that meant everything to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and... like we were talking about off the air, right? You have to speak it into existence. You have to have a vision. And if you have that vision, you naturally are going to gravitate towards achieving it. And here we are.
And Conor taught me that.
Yeah.
Conor taught me that. You just play it as a movie in your head. And if your product's good and you believe in it, it'll happen.
100%.
Yeah. So let's talk about this.
Yeah.
The joint and muscle cream. How is this different from this?
Absolutely. So I know you'd asked me earlier, so just to kind of explain everything, right? So my background is in pharmacology. I was working in big pharma for quite some time. I got to work with some of the best drug teams in the world and really understood the science behind inflammation. And that's something a lot of people don't know, right? When we hear inflammation, you think about, joint swelling, things like that. But inflammation is so much more than that. It's the leading cause of pain all throughout the body. So we formulated our spray to address pain and inflammation to start off with, and we used the mechanism of cryotherapy. So what that does is you get that immediate pain relief through the cryotherapy, distracts the pain a little bit, but it's those plant-based ingredients that we've really kind of formed a proprietary formula around that address the inflammation and lead to long-term recovery. So like Ian's story, for instance, when she tried the product, it wasn't that, okay, it's an immediate kind of cooling effect and it's gone. It's those plant-based ingredients that really lead to that long-term recovery. So we wanted to put that in a cream form, right? We knew that the spray was well received and athletes especially liked it. But there is a segment that really likes just topical creams, and sometimes they hesitate with the spray. It can, it's comes out with a burst, right? So
I like to call it a blast of cold,
right,
like you've never
a
felt
blast,
before.
Exactly. So we wanted to take that same mechanism, and one thing that's really overlooked in the space is the delivery of your ingredients. Every company out there touts different ingredients, that work, but how are they actually getting delivered to the problem, to the area that we're trying to treat? So this joint cream was specifically formulated to absorb into the joints. The joints, to really get penetration, it's deep. You have to, whether it's a knee, an ankle, a wrist. And so we wanted to make a cream that really worked for people. And again, we have another line where we work in the kind of the medical clinic, pain clinic space, and that cream has taken off. I mean, we have patient testimonials every single day that now they can use our products and they don't have to use opioids anymore. It's really like spine tingling testimonials. So we took that same plant science, applied it to this product, and it's been great.
So would you say that this is different to use than this on certain areas? For instance, my man here's got a sore knee. So would this be good for like the knee and the wrist and maybe the top behind the back of the head? Like where does it differentiate between the spray? Sure.
So the spray is good for full body. Just based on the absorption, it's best on muscles. So after a leg workout, after a run, your calves, your quads, even your shoulders. The cream, I would say, specifically works best on your joints. So, in fact, in the MMA community, a lot of grappling, right? Their knuckles, their wrists, even for people like me who have an old knee injury, after I run or work out, I put it on my knees. So really for joint specific, I think the cream is better. But for full body recovery, the spray is best.
Right. And I like what you touched on there on the whole opioid thing, because after having spine surgery myself, I was prescribed a very, very strong dose of what they called Roxy 30 milligram rock, a little blue pill about this big.
Right.
But because of the intense amount of agony I was in, it literally took the pain away within 20 minutes.
Sure.
But the thing is about that is that you want that pain to be gone all the time. So all of a sudden you're popping an extra one or two when you should be taking one. I wish I had this prior to coming out of that surgery, because as I mentioned before, I've tried everything. I've tried everything.
Yeah.
And nothing has worked except opioids.
Yeah. I mean, the opioids, they've become very widely used because they do work. They work on different receptors in our body. They take away the pain. The problem is the side effects, right? And of course, the addiction, right?
The addiction is the big one.
You talk about your depressed respiratory rate. Talk about constipation. There's so many things associated with the opioids, and we have people that we try to help, and they've been on it for 5 years or 10 years. So what can we do to at least help them taper it down? If not discontinue, what can we do? And that's the way we kind of design our products. Now, Tidal, of course, is in the fitness and athlete space, but our other line, CytoCx, that's specifically formulated for that, is really taking that plant science and becoming an alternative for that chronic pain patient that's been in an accident or has rheumatoid arthritis, rather than going that opioid route.
What about children? Is this safe for children?
It is. It's a topical product, and we're talking about Tidal specifically. Safe for children. The active ingredient is menthol, which is in many things, right? So actually, the youth sports segment is one of our fastest growing segments. High school athletes, college athletes, so they absolutely love the product.
How do you create the cold feeling?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to go into the science a little bit here. So this is what I'm passionate about. So the unique thing about the product is, when we hear cryotherapy, you think of a cryo chamber. You think about cold compression, ice packs. We've created a formulation that's topical cryotherapy. And what that does is the active ingredient of menthol activates these receptors that are known as the TRPM receptors.
The menthol being the strong minty smell that you smell.
Correct, exactly. So what that does is it activates the same receptors that cold compression would, and it tells our body we're cold. Okay, now this is where our product gets a little different. In cold compression and cryo chambers, it's an actual cold force being applied to the body, so it reduces the blood flow. That's how they reduce inflammation, right? Our model is that using this topical cryotherapy, we activate those same receptors, tell the body that we're cold in that area, and the body responds by rushing blood to the site, right? Because there's no cold compression holding it back.
Right.
that increased blood flow is where the magic happens. That's where increased blood flow leads to increased absorption, and that's where the plant-based ingredients really go to work. So that absorption, taking those plant-based ingredients and inhibiting what are called inflammatory cells or cytokines, that's what's leading to that longer pain relief. Whereas there's other products that use that same type of cryotherapy mechanism, but that's all they're doing. So they get that temporary relief. Once it wears off, they have to reapply.
AKA icy hot.
No comments, right? Yes, other brands, right? So that's where our product's a little different. We use the plant-based ingredients to extend that relief, and the goal is to lead to long-term healing as opposed to a temporary product.
How long did that formula take to come up with, and how many goes did you have before you got it right?
I tell you what, I'd have to think back. We have a great team of scientists and clinicians, and it took us probably over 17 iterations before we had it right. And in terms of the time, I'd say it took us over 2 years of research and development. And I got to shout out our Chief Technical Officer, Julian Cabrera. Him and I, we worked some tireless hours to make it happen.
Julian Cabrera, there you go. You got a shout out from the man. We'll have to get you down here in Vegas one day.
Yeah, for sure. He's here, actually. We're all here for the fight. Yeah.
Everyone's here for the fight. How many of your team you got here at the moment, Doc?
So almost a full team's here, and shout out to my teammates. I get to be here and talk with you, but everything you see, all the packaging, the hats, the apparel, it's a team effort. As as Conor says, right? It's an army. We all go to war together, and so we have about 10 people out here right now. Our CEO, our president, Sean, COO. I got to shout out Sean, Raj, Nav. Amazing partners that we have out here, along with Julian and myself and Bottles. So we're out here. My guy Billy, who's been our runner, making things happen all across the city. So it's a blessing, man. We have a great team.
And will you be celebrating on Saturday night with a little of the whiskey? Are you a drinker, Doc?
We'll have a good time once in a while. You know how it is. So.
I don't know about those invasive answers, because one of our major affiliates here at the Marcus Deegan Show is, of course, another. I just stick with the top brands, right? I don't mess around with any of these other brands. I stick with the major ones. Tidal and Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. This is the part of the show that I like to call the passing of the proper.
Yes,
this
sir.
is a traditional part that we do for every single guest. Conor has given me the opportunity to be able to give these away. So on behalf of myself, the Marcus Deegan Show, and of course your business partner, Conor McGregor, the passing of the proper. That one's for you right there.
Thank you so much. And look, Marcus and I didn't talk about this earlier, but I got to tell you, I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, which is bourbon land, right? And I never really got into it much. And even my dad has always drank whiskey and stuff, and I was more on the vodka side. Never got really into whiskey until one day with Audie, actually. He orders around a proper. I fell in love with it. It's so smooth, and it's just the perfect chill drink. It's smooth, it's nice, it tastes good, and I really appreciate it, man. That's
welcome.
Nice of you.
And if you mix it with the Tidal, like if you spray the Tidal and then have a couple of shots of Proper 12, then your back issues are gone altogether. I've had a lot of people come on here and they always leave with Proper 12 and Tidal Sport,
funny.
and then they always message me and go, "Hey, that Tidal Sport was unbelievable.
Oh,
Mix it with a
so
bit of
great.
Proper 12 and it's all great." So that's just such. I can't tell you, like, I'm just so proud to be affiliated with you guys. I know we're just a little blip on your radar, and we're just a small part of the team. Hashtag Tidal team. I think it needs to be done in Australia. I think that you guys need to get that down under, because I mean, they love Conor there, and the product is amazing. Is there any thoughts for going more international?
Absolutely, there is. We have some great partners that are in place now to start opening up that international distribution. It's funny you mentioned Australia, because some of the most inquiries we get is from Australia, and they love Conor, and it's a pretty active community. They're into sports, they're into fitness,
Huge.
so it's a great place for us to be. So we're working on that, and to go back, rewind a little bit, is I have to credit you too. Starting from when Johnny Walker was on the show and what you've done, it's been amazing and inspirational to watch. So for me personally, it's just fun to work with brands that are in it together and can grow together and support each other's growth. And I feel like that's the kind of partnership we've established. So appreciate you.
I think that the whole point of it is that if it works, it's easy to sell, and it's an easy thing to share with people. I mean, look, you've said it yourself. The reviews that you're getting from this are just astronomical, and it's only going to grow even bigger. So what's the next step? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, it's all about innovation. We want to continue to differentiate, coming out with this spray with the 360-degree spray technology. It's a unique application. It excites people, and it's something they haven't felt before. So really investing into the R&D. We have some great stuff coming, which I can't say too much about yet, but I'm really excited. Again, our team is just working tirelessly to continue to innovate in this space, which we feel it's time for an upgrade. We feel like there's a big opportunity in sports recovery.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like a Tidal therapy center or something like that.
You never know, right? You never know. And you look at the space right now and some of the bigger brands which have done great, right? They're looked at as pain relief brands that are used as needed. But the truth is, the inflammation, the wear and tear in our body, it's a daily thing, especially if you're training, working out. So we're really focused on that daily recovery aspect, creating products that consumers can use as a part of their daily routine without missing a beat. It's not pulling them. They don't have to go somewhere. They don't have to do something extra in their flow, whether it's in their gym bag or in their bathroom, just making it a part of their routine. That's our goal.
Wow. I mean, it's just, I love success stories. And I love, like, as we mentioned earlier on, when we first hooked up, you had like maybe 6,500, 7,000 followers on Instagram. Now you're blue ticked and you've got over like 80,000. I love seeing that. Yeah. And I always knew that from the moment I heard about this, and then definitely from the moment that I tried it, I just knew that this was going to be a big success. So I'm just stoked to be around it and proud of it. Do we have any more? I can't remember if I sent anything else up there. Did I, Ian? That was about it. So let's go. Prediction.
All right.
Tomorrow night.
Oh man.
Tomorrow night. And where are you sitting? Where are you sitting?
So I'll be there. We're in the hundreds, I believe. The 100 sections.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hundreds.
Yeah. So it's not on the floor, but the ramp up right there.
Yep. Now, did you get free tickets for that or what?
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Guess what? Because I did. I had one of Connor's guys from Ireland that couldn't make it here.
Oh, amazing.
Sent me and my girl $5,000 worth of tickets. So
amazing.
D. Graham, I want to thank you very much for that, brother. That was just such a kind gesture that just came out of nowhere. And for you to send me those tickets when you could have made that money, that meant a lot to me. So I do appreciate that. I've actually got to give one more shout out. I meant to give this shout out, if I can find it, that is. I meant to give a shout out for these guys. They're doing a movie. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway, I'll find the shout out and I'll insert that in later. So yeah, prediction.
I think Conor looks great.
Yeah,
Conor looks great. He's in a great place, so I think he's going to pull it off.
Yeah. Did you feel a different intensity from him at the press conference yesterday? He seemed
I
did.
I mean, I love who he's become, right? And we saw that he's a father, he's a professional, he's an entrepreneur, he's had an amazing career. But to see that fire come back, that flash of who he was, that was awesome yesterday. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dustin looked a little rattled to me, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I respect everybody that does this sport,
sure.
But Dustin did look a little rattled because the last time they faced off together, it was friendly. It was all hot sauce and whiskey.
Yeah.
But this time it was like, okay, that's it. I'm going for kill shots.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very different environment now. I think. That was very. I think also. That world was different back then. It's literally 6 months ago, the world was extremely different than it is today. So now I think everyone's getting back into their normal flow of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to go to the weigh-ins this afternoon, or are you busy with your team?
We'll see. We're going to try to make it. It's a big weekend for us in terms of brand activation. When I say brand activation, with everyone coming into town, they're obviously coming for Conor and for the fight. So it's a great opportunity for us to create brand awareness. So we have a lot of meetings and things like that going on.
Right.
So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how the schedule looks.
What do you think of the product placement in the studio?
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
Anywhere we can paint it yellow and black, you'll never hear any disagreement from me. It looks great, and the studio, even without our product, looks amazing. You've obviously done some great things. So again, congratulations on your development.
Yeah. Well, listen, I just want to say, without getting emotional, to be part of something big and to be part of something meaningful really, really means a lot.
Yeah.
Especially to a bloke like me that's just an Aussie that's trying to kick it in this industry. To be affiliated with you guys, even before Conor was in it, I was very proud. And then when Conor became part of it, it just heightened that feeling of pleasure and being proud. So I just wanted to say you have given me an opportunity to make my brand bigger by using your brand.
Yeah.
So, and this not only affects me, it also affects my family as well, who's sitting over right there. So I just want to say, I thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope that we can continue to grow and work together. And if you're ever having any, conferences where you need someone to get up there and talk about the product and to talk about their experiences, I'm right there. If you need a representative to go anywhere and talk about this, I'm right there.
That means a lot, and thank you. And I have to share a quick story for you, but real quick is my wife's a physical therapist. She's also involved in the medical field, and she heard your testimonial. She heard your story. She was blown away because she works with patients who have gone through similar situations like you. And she was like, you know what, Cohin, forget the commercial aspect, forget the advertising. Look at this story. Look at the passion behind his story. You guys are creating something that can help people. And it's hard. It's hard to help people like that, because they've been through so much. So that's really what opened my eyes is it's more than the business partnerships. It's about really bringing therapeutic solutions to people like yourself, to people like you bring on this show. So thank you for helping us get our product into the hands of people that can benefit from it. And I'm so happy, again, that our product has helped you personally, because that's why we do what we do. That's what wakes us up every day.
And it has. It truly, truly has. And I think, she put up with so much grief from me just constantly complaining about the agony and pain that I was in. So she's a lot happier as well. So
That's awesome.
Tidal Sport.
We're here for the family.
Yeah, and help my marriage as well. So,
Awesome.
man, so we're going to see each other on Saturday night at the after party.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
Before we bounce, is there anything that you'd like to say? Some people in life need a little bit of inspiration sometimes that aren't in great positions like you and I to, live this great life. If there's someone that's feeling maybe a little down that needs a bit of inspiration, what would you say to someone like that that's looking for maybe a word of advice?
Absolutely. Look, I think we all hit some type of rock bottom over the past year. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of people and something we've never been through. And I think that's a reflection of many things that happen in life. We've all hit rock bottoms. But looking back, I went to school, I went to business school, I went to pharmacy school, and 99% of the people I went to school with, they went to jobs, and I thought I would be doing the same. And what really helped me get out of the space, and I'm not saying we've made it or anything, we have a long way to go. I still have to bust it every single day. But you have to position yourself to a place where you feel passionate about what you're working towards. That's what it is. And I feel your passion. I feel it radiates what you love, what you do.
Yeah.
So for anyone out there that's looking for that inspiration, really dig deep down. Ask yourself what would drive you every day and fight like hell to get there. Fight like hell, because we only get one chance at this, man. So you got to find what you love, risk it. It's okay. And side note, I do some articles for Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm a contributor there. I'd love for you guys to read my stuff. Follow me on Instagram at Cohin Kakar. You'll see a link to my entrepreneur articles. That's what I talk about, is really finding a passion in what you're doing. And I know it sounds cliche. You won't feel like you work a day in your life if you do something you enjoy. But it's so true. But the hard part is finding that. It's not as easy. I mean, it's hard. You've been through it. I'm going through
Absolutely.
it. It's hard. But once you find it, I swear to God, it'll pay off.
I mean, look, this is what you want to hear, these kind of things, guys. So, look, if you are feeling down in the dumps and if things aren't going for you, just find something that you love.
Find it.
And work hard at it and push towards it and really believe in it. And it all works out in the end, my friends.
Yep.
It all works out in the end. Once again, I started this podcast a year ago because I wanted to talk to inspirational and interesting and amazing people. And once again, this guest has just proved exactly what I was talking about. Dr. Cohin, thank you so much for coming on the show, my brother. I do appreciate you and everything, and I'll look forward to working more with you in the future.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you give us a like, follow, and subscribe. Like, we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the whole lot, TikTok. So go on there and say g'day. Tomorrow night, 264, Conor McGregor does it
Let's
in 2.
go.
Let's go, baby. This is Marcus Deegan for the Marcus Deegan Show. See you later, everybody. The Marcus Deegan Show.